I believe that this office has a clever name that uses strong emotional words, diversity, equity, inclusion, but functionally does the opposite of what America has always stood for, which is very simply the best man, the best woman for the job. And I believe that because of what I've heard from this office, what I have read from this office, and what I hear about this office from employees at the State Department, that instead of simply looking for the best man or woman for the job, this office is giving people the impression, or given many people outside of the State Department the sense, that it is looking for a preferred race, or at minimum, not white.
Well, I had some prepared remarks here, but I'm not going to read those because, frankly, I was so appalled by the chairman's opening remarks, I need to address it. Those who want to talk about merit also want to ignore history of this country. They want to ignore the fact that the playing field is not level for vast swaths of our country, because that is not a convenient fact for them, right? They want to talk about merit as if our history and the institutional barriers that exist for vast swaths of our country don't exist, but they do.
The unique nature or disadvantages of being Black in America cannot be underestimated. It does not matter where Black men grow up, even on the same street, anywhere in America, Black men are not doing the same as white men, even when they grow up in similar situations because of racial bias. How can we continue to discount the need to have a truth and reconciliation conversation between what was, what is, and what is to be?
One of the most striking findings of the study to us was that even if you take Black and white boys raised in families at exactly the same income level, even at high income levels, you see that Black boys end up with very different outcomes on average relative to white men. They're less likely to complete high school, they're less likely to go to college, to have significantly lower earnings in adulthood.
You mentioned in the study that there are unique obstacles that Black men face. Just to be clear, are we talking about racism and racial bias, or what are those unique obstacles that Black men in particular face?
Yeah, so to try to get at that, we look at how this varies across different parts of the country. So look neighborhood by neighborhood and ask, are there some neighborhoods in America where you see small Black-white gaps, or perhaps Black men doing better than white men? And surprisingly, you find essentially no such areas. In 99% of neighborhoods in America, you see better outcomes for white men than Black men.
Until we are really willing to address the fact that white America owes Black people reparations. And when I say white America, I'm talking about the country. I'm not talking about individuals. We are owed to be made whole. This is not a small conversation. We see that racial bias, systematic racism is still a part of America's culture DNA. Black men born wealthy are more likely than their white male counterparts to experience poverty in their life. Not accounting for anything other than race, we could figure this out and fix it. But this country is not interested in reparations, truth and reconciliation. They're only interested in telling me and other Black men that we are less than, even though they continue to stack the decks against us. And I said decks, I'm talking about all of them: education, healthcare, policing, all systems in this country do wonderful work at holding Black men back. We must acknowledge this. And until we do, we'll see an entire segment of our population being stereotyped, being demonized, criminalized, dehumanized, and left behind. I'm Mondale Robinson, a Black man in America that feels the effect of America's racist systems. Have a good evening, not before you think about it.